It began as just another warm evening in North Texas, but as the sun dipped below the horizon Sunday night, the atmosphere above the Lone Star State turned volatile, almost as if the sky itself was preparing for battle. A potent collision of warm, humid air rising up from the Gulf of Mexico met with cooler, drier air pushing down from the north. This powerful convergence ignited a complex of severe thunderstorms that rapidly intensified, triggering a chain reaction that would leave a trail of damage and disruption across the region. By the time most people were settling in for the night, warnings had already begun flashing across phones and weather stations. Thunderstorm watches and advisories stretched across dozens of counties, including Dallas, Tarrant, Collin, Denton, and beyond. Within hours, those warnings escalated into full-blown emergencies. Severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood alerts, and even tornado watches lit up the radar. Wind gusts as high as 80 miles per hour tore through neighborhoods, snapping tree limbs like twigs, ripping fences from the ground, and knocking out power to over 160,000 customers at the height of the storm. In some areas, the winds were so strong they bent metal poles and peeled shingles from rooftops. As the night progressed, damage reports surged. Trees were blocking major roadways, transformers exploded in flashes of blue and white light, and thousands of residents found themselves in the dark. The chaos wasn't limited to wind. Large hail began pelting areas across central and north Texas. Some hailstones reached the size of golf balls, shattering windows and damaging vehicles. In certain counties, like Johnson, Navarro, and Eastland, residents reported the eerie roar of hailstones pounding rooftops and siding, sounding like rocks thrown against their homes. At the same time, rainfall began to intensify, fast. Within a matter of hours, multiple inches of rain fell in regions already saturated from previous storms. Flash flood warnings were issued for Collin, Denton, Tarrant, and Dallas counties, with some neighborhoods seeing water rise up over curbs, flood streets, and threaten low-lying homes. Emergency responders were dispatched to stranded motorists and localized rescues as floodwaters made travel nearly impossible. And all of this happened before sunrise. By Monday morning, North Texas woke up to the aftermath. Neighborhoods littered with broken branches, traffic lights hanging precariously, and residents checking on neighbors and damage with flashlights and phone cameras. Utility crews worked through the early morning hours to restore power, while meteorologists and emergency managers reviewed the scale of the impact. Despite the damage, there was a silver lining. The storm, as intense as it was, did not fully evolve into what experts feared might become a derecho, a rare and extremely damaging straight-line windstorm that can span hundreds of miles. While this storm system came close, the wind swath lacked the consistency to qualify. Even so, its effects were severe and widespread. But the concern now shifts to what's ahead. This was not a one-night event. In fact, this storm marked the beginning of what could be several days of dangerous weather across Texas and beyond. The same system responsible for Sunday night's destruction is expected to push eastward and strengthen again over parts of the Deep South. Areas including Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle are now at risk, with damaging winds, hail, and even tornadoes possible. At the same time, Texas itself is bracing for additional rounds of storms throughout the week. A persistent upper-level low-pressure system is moving slowly across the region, drawing in a plume of tropical moisture from the Caribbean. This atmospheric setup is expected to bring more heavy rainfall, damaging winds, and severe weather potential, particularly in West Texas on Tuesday, Central Texas on Wednesday, and East Texas, including Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas on Thursday and Friday. The National Weather Service has issued a slight risk for excessive rainfall throughout this period, raising concerns about flash flooding, especially in urban areas where drainage systems may already be taxed from previous storms. The risk of additional power outages, travel disruptions, and structural damage remains high. Meteorologists are also closely watching the jet stream, which has been unusually strong this season. Combined with above-average Gulf of Mexico sea surface temperatures, the result is a turbocharged thunderstorm environment, one that has already propelled Texas to the top of the charts for storm activity in 2025. According to data from NOAA's Storm Prediction Center, Texas has reported 136 tornadoes so far this year, already exceeding its annual average of 133. In addition, the state has seen 748 reports of wind damage and 860 reports of large hail, more than any other state. These numbers highlight not only the severity of the season, but the ongoing threat as storm patterns continue to evolve. Meanwhile, authorities are urging residents to remain alert and prepared. Know where your nearest shelter is, charge your devices, have a flashlight, weather radio, and emergency kit ready. While the Monday morning skies offered a brief break from the chaos, the radar shows that more disturbances are on the way. By Tuesday morning, new storms are expected to begin developing in the southwest, potentially moving into central and north Texas again by midweek. Rain coverage is forecast to peak between Wednesday and Thursday, with forecasters keeping a close eye on the risk for additional severe events. In short, this is not the end. It's the middle of a highly active and dangerous weather pattern, one that requires all of us to stay informed, alert, and ready for what's next. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.